And welcome back to your favorite podcast. It's called The Five Spot. We're here joined with Armando Cigar. I'm your host, Donovan McNabb. We are going to dive into it. We had something exciting that happened through the NFL with the NFL honors. There were a lot of celebrities in the house. Had one of my son's high school teammates and came in, freshman, who won the flag football player of the year. So he was able to go through the red carpet with his mom and family. But let's dive into the awards because it was exciting and kind of expected in a sort of way. For the MVP voting, Lamar Jackson runs away with that, and one that I think is well-deserved. You had a lot of great candidates who was in there, Brock Purdy, CMC. There are a lot of other guys that was well-deserving. C.J. Stroud deserves a little bit more credit than he got, but let's dive into the Lamar Jackson, and please don't talk about him being like living around the block from you, Armando, when you get into this. But Armando, I just had to say it before Armando does. Just give me your thoughts on Lamar winning that award and what that can do for him possibly going into next year.
So, did I tell you that Lamar used to live?
Oh, here we go.
No. I'm kidding. The most shocking thing about Lamar Jackson winning the MVP award is that he got 49 out of 50 votes. And I voted for him.
Yeah.
I'm one of the 50 voters. What was number 50 thinking?
Isn't that just like when Ken Griffey, I think, got, one vote? Like, who is that guy?
He voted for Josh Allen. What
was he watching?
So my understanding is that it is a Buffalo area voter.
Okay.
And so, still not comfortable with it.
I was about to say, okay. Homer.
Homer. Yeah, and look, I get it. He probably saw Josh Allen more than anyone else because obviously the Buffalo Bills aren't on television very often.
Right. And then they went on that win streak, and he accounted Josh Allen as part of the reason instead of Joe Brady in the run game.
Exactly. So remember that game against Dallas where Josh Allen says, I feel like a kid who, participated in the class project, didn't do anything, and still got an A. And meanwhile, Lamar Jackson, and understand, the voting is not encompassing the playoffs. So what happened in the playoffs doesn't matter.
Right.
But you've got a guy that basically had 46, 47 touchdowns. I get it. Josh Allen had 43 or 42, something like that. But
he had the best team. He was the quarterback of the best team in the NFL.
He was the most valuable player on the best team.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, obviously the most valuable player on his team, but what happened those first, 12 games of the season when they lost 6 times?
Mm-hmm.
So I have a small problem with that one. Congratulations to Josh Allen for, getting that one vote.
Right.
Big ups to Lamar for getting the other 49 votes. And by the way, that was not the only weird voting glitch that I saw.
Let's talk about it.
Assistant Coach of the Year. Assistant Coach of the Year went to Jim Schwartz. May the Schwartz be with you. Anyway,
Spaceballs, ladies and gentlemen. Spaceballs.
Yes.
Go and Google it and watch the space.
The kids Spaceballs. Don't know what the heck I'm
doing.
They're
like, the Schwartz. I'm going to start saying that. What does it mean? Like, go watch the movie. It's called Spaceballs.
So I thought, that Spagnuolo.
Spagnolia.
Sorry. Mm-hmm. Spagnolia.
Yeah.
You can't say it. Ooh. Okay, I'll have gnocchi with my Spagnolia. So I thought that he should have won it. The Kansas City Chiefs defense is the reason. A lot of people say it's Patrick Mahomes. No, it's the defense is the reason that they are here. Mm-hmm. That's the reason that they are here. Yes, Patrick Mahomes too. I get you. But the defense. And he is the architect of that defense.
Now, okay, since you talk defense, people may argue that the Baltimore defensive coordinator who
He got some votes.
now is the Seattle Seahawks
Yes.
head coach.
Yes.
They would argue and say, well, you want to talk defense, they had the best defense in the NFL. Am I correct? There are other candidates that I think were worthy of it. Jim Schwartz winning that award. And then the thing that kind of threw it off for me with that, so if you give Jim Schwartz the assistant coach award, and then you get the coach of the year award to Stefanski. And
weird.
They weren't the number one seed.
No.
Or number two.
Yeah.
Like, that just doesn't match up. And a lot of these awards, I want people to understand, a lot of these awards kind of come out of left field of people who definitely win those awards.
Yep.
Because there's a lot of arguments of who deserves the awards. One, for instance, the Offensive Player of the Year, Christian McCaffrey definitely deserved that award.
Yep.
As far as Defensive Player of the Year, some may argue that T.J. Watt, some may argue a few others, but for Myles Garrett to win that award,
yep.
He was outstanding. Don't get me wrong, he was outstanding this year.
Amazing.
And then the Comeback Player of the Year award.
It's like the Cleveland Browns swept the awards.
You would have thought that they were the number one seed and they went to the AFC title.
Yeah.
And, just barely lost.
Coach of the Year, Assistant Coach of the Year,
Defensive
Player of the Year,
Comeback Player
of the Year. No. You can't. I voted for D'Amico Ryans for Coach of the Year.
Second. Although I don't have a vote, but I thought he was well-deserving, especially when you have a rookie
right,
who wins Rookie of the Year.
Right.
And a rookie defensive end to win Rookie Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
But your head coach?
I would say that it's a lot harder to be a rookie head coach who brings in a quarterback who's a rookie and a
draft
and defensive end who's
in the
a
same
rookie.
Draft.
And they win, and you don't because
what
were you doing?
And who did they beat in the playoffs?
And by the way,
who they beat in the playoffs?
45-14, the Texans eliminated the number 5 seed. By the way, the Texans were a higher seed. So they had a higher seed than the Cleveland Browns, and yet it was the Cleveland Browns who swept those awards. You like Joe Flacco as Comeback Player of the Year?
I like Joe Flacco as Player of the Year, Comeback Player of the Year, and the reason for that is Joe Flacco was almost on the verge of doing what we're doing. He's following his kids. He's sitting on the couch. He's going to the gym and working out. I guarantee Joe Flacco's probably not walking into a Pilates class and the instructor goes, "Good morning, Joe." Joe went to work out. Joe probably was on the Stairmaster, hating life, decided probably I was going to wait another couple weeks and then I'm going to shut it down. He gets a call. I remember vividly people talking about he was at the airport. I don't know if it was in Philly or where he was in the airport flying to Cleveland. I don't even know if he was in first class. He probably was, but
wow.
A 6'5", 6'6" quarterback sitting in first class, just sitting there and people are like, it looks like Joe Flacco.
Yep.
When he just played for the Jets.
Yes.
And the Jets quarterback situation was in turmoil, and they didn't bring him in.
Yes.
And so to go to Cleveland and play the way he did, his first 5 games was unbelievable for a guy that hasn't played consistently in a while. So he was well deserving. Go ahead.
No. And what did he come back from? He came back from what?
He came back from
he was not good last year.
Being not even thought of being in the NFL to come in the NFL, and he was the reason that Cleveland got to the playoffs.
It wasn't the Defensive Player of the Year, the Coach of the Year, and the Assistant Coach of the Year?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
He was the reason. Throwing for 350, throwing for almost 400 yards. Yep. Amari Cooper looked like the Amari Cooper of Dallas before he took himself out.
Another reason it wasn't Joe Flacco. Go ahead.
For Amari Cooper?
Come on.
Bradley Chubb is out. Yes. Bradley Chubb's out.
No. Nick
Chubb, excuse me. Nick Chubb's out.
The Chubb brothers.
Yeah.
The Chubb brothers.
The Chubbsters.
Yes.
Chubb's out. Deshaun Watson's out. They've lost a few offensive linemen. And so for him to come in and really to resurge this offense, because at one point this offense just looked non-existent.
That's fair. Now, let me offer you an alternate vote, which is the one I took, which doesn't mean that it's right because I took it, so therefore it was
No.
it was wrong.
like Armando. No.
Yeah, there you go. I voted for Brock Purdy, comeback player of the year. Why did I do that? Because a year ago, Brock Purdy blew out his elbow on his throwing, on his throwing arm. We had Dr. Chow,
yes,
who was here yesterday, talked about how difficult that is. Mm-hmm. He had Tommy John procedure. They don't call it a surgery anymore.
Tommy John S.
In the offseason, the 49ers are talking about, hey, let's bring in Tom Brady maybe if he'll come. And Brock, you'll be fine. We're not sure about you. You may not be around. He starts training camp. He is not ready to go for training camp.
No.
Because, that. And yet, when the season starts, he throws 31 touchdown passes and 11 interceptions, which was better than Joe Flacco. And how is he?
He played longer than Joe Flacco.
Okay, that's fair. Details. you come with the facts.
Joe Flacco played like 4 weeks. He's like, he didn't throw 31 touchdowns.
Don't be throwing facts at me. I hate that when that happens. I throw facts. You don't throw facts at me. I throw facts. Facts are to be thrown by me. It's in my contract. No, but the point is that guy really did come back from something, not from sitting on the couch.
Right. I agree with you.
And I wouldn't have voted for Joe Flacco number 2 because I would have voted for the guy who had a heart attack as number 2. And so there's compelling reasons for comeback player of the year, and being on the couch I don't think is high up there in my opinion.
Have you sat on the couch, Armando?
Often. Many times.
Have you got off the couch and said,
I'm going to a couch after the show. Yeah. I'm going to couch myself.
Have you said to yourself, maybe I should go to the gym?
No, I haven't said that.
Well, there you go. Joe Flacco said, I'm just going to go back and play in the NFL. And so it's hard to do. I'm with you on as far as the Brock Purdy situation. I think, and that may have been overlooked a little bit.
I changed your mind?
No, I'm still with Joe Flacco. But I love that you brought it up because I think that injury has been overlooked just because of what we've seen from Brock this year. And so nobody even remembers that he about blew his elbow out. And it was on a hit. It wasn't like he was throwing the football. It was on a hit.
Yeah.
And so to be contorted in that particular way, and then he was back on a pitch count. Right. So it was like you're in training camp, and it's like we're only going to allow him to throw 65 passes. And that includes warm-ups, that includes individual drills, and then some team drills, and they shut him down in practice. So gradually they worked him back, and not a lot of people talked about that. I like that you brought that up, but I'm still going with Joe Flacco. Great job, but yeah, we're.
But I'm ignoring you. That's
not really paying attention to the rest of the stuff you said.
Great job.
Everything was wonk, 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 wonk.
I was a McDonald's drive-through speakerphone, and you're trying to order something.
What would you like? What? Would you like cheese?
Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you very much. You made great sense, but get out of here.
So let's go deeper into the award ceremony.
Yep.
Was there anything particular besides some of the decisions that you still kind of caused for pause? Like it was like, let me think about that.
Yeah, no. So in the if you look at the Hall of Fame voting, how do you feel about Antonio Gates? He didn't make it. How do you feel about Torrey Holt? Didn't make it again. Reggie Wayne didn't make it again.
The thing that I look at in that regard, and it's tough because I'm good friends with Torrey, Antonio Gates. We did pros versus Joes together, and watching his career was unbelievable in San Diego. He and Phillip had a great rapport with each other. The numbers speak for themselves. One, it's tough for a tight end at that time going in I think he will go. He'll go in next year. But then there's probably a lot to be said of Jared Allen.
Yeah.
Me, but
Okay.
yeah. But as far as, and I had this conversation with a couple guys last night. Reggie Wayne came in. He wasn't the number one guy.
No.
With Marvin there. And so then his numbers were what they were, and then he became the number one guy.
Correct.
Andre Johnson stepped into the Houston Texans organization, and he was the number one guy.
With no quarterback.
Through his career. Exactly. Well, yes. And Kyle Shanahan.
Okay.
And Kubiak.
Yeah. What else we got on this show?
Well, we have a few other guests that are joining us. We got Flavor Flav. Yeah, boy. He'll be joining us with the big clock, I'm sure. Flavor Flav is a friend of mine. He's probably about 80, but still wearing the clock that doesn't have a battery in it. I'm going to get on him when he joins us on the show. We have a lot more guests. Marshall Faulk was on the show. He's going to tell you a little bit about the dynamic of where the running backs are at this particular point and why they're not getting the bag. Armando has some emotional ties with that. And much more. So join us here at the 5 spot as we give you more information about the game this weekend, and you'll get a chance to hear from a lot of our celebrity guests. Welcome back to the 5 spot. I'm your host, Donovan McNabb, joined with Armando Segarra. We have a special guest. I'm still a little scarred every time that I see this guy, and he never kind of gives me any positivity. One of the best running backs to ever play the game. I believe he opened the door for running backs to be able to be multi-purpose, can block from the backfield, can catch the ball out of the backfield, downhill runner, not this jet sweep type of stuff where they utilize a lot of the speed. But I really remember, Marshall, back when you were in San Diego State.
Oh, man.
Wow.
The highlights that I seen back on ESPN of splitting 2 to 3 defenders just with your speed alone. Just tell me, when you watch the running backs today, compared to back when you were coming out, do you see that you pass the torch to these guys, or do they show something different?
I see the evolution of the position and kind of where everybody went.
Okay.
There's just the ability, and you had this with Westbrook.
Yeah.
The ability to dictate coverage and create mismatches. If you come out, you come out with 21 personnel. Yes. And they play regular defense, and you flex us out. That's a linebacker on me one-on-one.
Right.
You put the back outside the receiver. If the linebacker go outside, it's man.
Right.
If he stay inside, it's zone. You get to dictate coverage and do what you want to. Right. And anytime they didn't put a DB in there, now you line up and you run the fullback, you run the lead at him. So you get to dictate coverage now, and a lot of teams see the mismatch in that and making teams play with smaller defenses because they can't stop it, or they want to try to avoid the big plays.
You know, it's funny you brought up 21 personnel. You know, that's almost like a rarity in the game now.
I know.
San Francisco, Kansas City at times may use the fullback. Nobody really uses the fullback anymore. So with that said, when you look at CMC and what he brings to the table for San Francisco, when you add the fullback into it, where he becomes also a pass catcher, not just a downhill blocker, how much does that put pressure on defensive coordinators of trying to figure out what they're going to do with him?
Yeah, and here's because Juszczyk is so good in the passing game.
Right.
He's really good in the passing game, and he's a dynamic blocker. What they do is, when they get into that, they literally they know that you're not thinking that they're going to run. Right. And they run.
Yes.
Like they power run you to death.
Mm-hmm.
And McCaffrey just takes advantage of it because all the double team blocks, they're still playing. A lot of times I saw Detroit, they were in nickel personnel against 21.
Against 21.
And there's the mismatch.
Yeah.
You can't stop the run with 7 men in the box and nickel personnel. That DB, he cannot hold down the backside or take it on the front side good enough to help you. So they're just Kyle Shanahan and Andy Reid. They're great at creating those mismatches and dictating what you do because they know that you want to protect on the back end,
right,
not give up the big plays.
We're talking to Marshall Faulk, a Pro Football Hall of Famer. By the way, I voted for you.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
So I just want to make that clear. So we're talking about running backs. What are your thoughts on the diminishingness of running backs in the NFL today? And I'm not talking about usage. I'm talking about money.
Yeah. Well, first of all, let's just be clear. This game is the only time we talk about running backs. When we think about how do we help the quarterbacks, other than that, we're not talking about running backs. You haven't heard. We're not seriously. We don't really get into it. But
why you throw the quarterbacks in there?
I'm not. I'm highlighting the position.
Oh, okay.
This is a highlight.
Okay.
Yeah. So when we start to get into running backs, it's like man, like we're relevant, and in these games and in the playoffs,
Right.
the teams who run the ball the
100%.
best are the ones who end up winning.
100%.
But yet throughout the regular season, it's all about the quarterback.
Right.
So in saying that, I like what I see on both sides. Although we revere and we talk about Christian McCaffrey and what he has done, how Isaiah Pacheco has stabilized the running game.
Talk about it.
And even when they don't win the line of scrimmage, this joker can get you 5 yards.
Talk
He
about
can
it.
get you 4 yards. He runs angry, and
Yes.
pound for pound, he's the heaviest runner that's under 220 pounds that I've seen in a long time. And I love watching him play.
I'm from South Florida. I went to University of
Unfortunately. Here we go. Here we go.
University of Miami.
This Miami stuff again.
And one of the saddest days of my life was when I heard that you decided not to come to the University of Miami.
Great decision, if by my part.
Yeah, that's not
Tell
true.
us, or tell me, please, make me feel better.
Yeah, that's not true.
Tell me why you ended up at San Diego State, which was, by the way, not a bad decision on your part.
That's not true.
But nonetheless, tell me.
Yeah, Coach Erickson. Actually, San Diego State and Miami, they ran the same offense I ran in high school. So I was like, one of those two schools was where I wanted to go. Miami was my first choice. Coach Erickson sitting down. I was sitting across from him. He looked me in my face and said, "You can't play running back here." Now, I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to tell you why.
That happens when you're in Miami making bad decisions.
They had just got the Junior College Player of the Year in Donnell Bennett,
Yep.
who committed to Miami, and that was their running back. That was they had young guys, and they had got their guy. He was a junior that was going to start for them, and he had committed. I'm going to say maybe a week before I was on my trip. That's what happened, literally.
And they wanted you to play defensive
They
back.
they offered me a scholarship at corner. I didn't want to play corner. That was that. But then Coach Erickson, he then got the job at the 49ers as the head coach, and I reminded him that I couldn't play running back because I scored 8 touchdowns on him in 2 games.
I love that.
I knew this. It's unbelievable.
Pay back.
Let's go back. Syracuse
Thanks, Coach.
Dropped the ball on that one.
Appreciate you.
Yeah. Thanks for letting them know that. But let's go back again to just these two different offenses. What do you expect to see from both sides, from Kansas City and then from San Francisco?
Kansas City, literally, if they win the toss, I think they're going to do exactly what they did to Baltimore. They want to go down and they want to put the pressure on Brock Purdy and this offense to respond because Patrick Mahomes is playing like near perfect football.
Yeah.
And if they do that, the pressure then goes on the quarterback. Like, they don't play against each other, but Patrick Mahomes make it, you're playing against me.
Yes. Yes.
and as we saw, Baltimore went 1-2-3 out, done. 1-2-3 out, done. That puts the pressure on you. Now, on the flip side, the 49ers, they want to eat up clock. They want to take a lot of plays away from Andy Reid and not give him the experiment of running a lot of plays, understanding what the defense is doing. Because if Andy Reid if he get those first downs on you and he get a beat for what you're calling, you're cooked. You are cooked.
I mean, he's only one of the best coaches ever.
Give him his props. I give him. I love the dude, man, and I love what he does and how he continues to evolve. Nobody thought that they would win a Super Bowl without Tyreek. Nobody thought that they'd get back with the group of receivers that they have, and here he is. Here he is.
Tell us about Drug Free World.
Great program, man. And literally what we're doing is we're telling the truth about drugs by giving kids not just information but education on drugs. In today's world, guess what you can't tell your kid? Don't do this, because that's like telling them exactly what to do. And if they're going to make decisions, and we're not telling people what to do, We just want you to make sure you make an educated decision on whatever you do. So go to drugfreeworld.org, get the information, get the education, and if you're going to partake, make a smart decision, because in today's world, that decision you make to experiment could be the last decision. This fentanyl it's wiping these kids out.
Yeah, well, these kids are trying new things just because, like you said, it's basically you got to do reverse psychology. Or,
Yeah.
you know, go ahead and do it, and they're like, nah, I'm not going to do it. But if you
Right.
tell them not to do it, then they're going to try it. And so the information, obviously, you can find it at drugfreeworld.org. So make sure you go out and get that information. I think it's vital for parents
Yep.
to be able to express the realness of what the drugs are all about and how it affects your body, and be able to teach these kids instead of waiting for your kid to go learn himself, and then that's when tragedy hits. So I love what you're doing, brother.
All good. Good to see you,
Keep
Five.
up the good work. You look
Right
good,
on,
man. You look
right
great.
On. Right on. I love you.
Hey,
I love
always
you.
got love for you.
I love you.
Always got love for you.
Pleasure.
We want to thank Marshall Faulk for joining us. It's been an exciting time. We got one of the best linebackers to ever do it. He was a catalyst. I had a running back by the name of Brian Westbrook, who he modeled his game after Marshall. So to have Marshall come on the show is definitely an honor. Best of luck to you, Marshall. Thanks for joining us. And welcome back to the livest podcast that's out here. We are making noise over here at Radio Row, making it happen. In the middle, joined here by Hall of Fame, musician, entertainer, lover, not a fighter. Joined here with my man Flavor Flav is in the house.
So social lab. I'm here with Armando and Donovan McNabb. Yeah, boy. This is how we do it.
This is how we do it.
How you doing, bro?
You know what? I'm outstanding. How you doing?
Yo, I'm doing all right, man. First of all, outstanding. Yo, shout out to Uncle Charlie. Outstanding.
There you go.
Hey, it makes me want to shout.
Oh,
Yo,
Charlie
man.
Wilson. Charlie. And if you
Yo,
take a
bro.
look to your left, it's all about the wardrobe. It's all
Yo,
about the look.
wow.
Armando
It's
had to
about
throw the
look.
glasses on.
There you go.
You know, I'm sorry, I'm not that cool.
Yes, you is. You cooler than 4 blocks of ice cubes.
Ooh,
man.
that's freezing right there. That's
Oh, yeah,
freezing.
man, I'm doing all right, though, man.
Okay.
Slow motion, Donovan better than no motion. You know
There
what
you
I'm
go.
saying? Missing you.
Should I do this?
Missing you, bro. Missing you.
There you go. So
Uh-oh.
So let's break it down. Let's break it down, Flav. Let's go with it right now. So you got the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yes.
You got the San Francisco 49ers. Give me your
Right.
thoughts. Let's go. Break it down.
All right, check this out. All right. Now, I'm going to sum it up just like this. You know what I'm saying? My 2 favorite quarterbacks in the NFL right now is Patrick Mahomes and Lamar Jackson.
Right.
You feel me? The whole 9. When it comes down to the Bay Area, you know what I'm saying? E40, my man. Too Short, my man. I love performing at Yoshi's Bay Area. Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
So
And
you
the
got to
whole
keep your
9.
clientele together.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But being that Patrick Mahomes is my favorite quarterback, one of my favorite quarterbacks in the NFL, I want to see him get another ring again. You know what I'm saying? And then do like he did last year, leave from the field and went straight to Disneyland with his family.
So you want to see that happen again?
Respect. Yeah, I want to see it happen again, man. I want to see it happen again.
So you just mentioned your 2 favorite quarterbacks, Lamar Jackson, Patrick Mahomes. Patrick being in the Super Bowl, Lamar getting the award last night for MVP. Well deserved.
Well deserved, man. Come on, man. Well deserved. That's right. Lamar Jackson is an MVP. I mean, he is.
From?
You know what I'm saying? Hey, you know where they all get that style of running? That come on, man. The style of that had that fullback style of a halfback. Come on, where they get it from?
I only did what I did.
My man,
There you
hello. You and Michael Vick.
There you go.
You
There
and
you
Michael
go.
Vick brought that to the game, Donovan. Come on now.
Hey, we
you
made it
and
happen.
Vic, you and Vic brought that style of running to the game.
There you go.
And that's the style now that all quarterbacks have today. So, yo, man, my hat goes off to you, man.
I appreciate
I'm
it.
sitting here with somebody that changed the course of the way you play football. That's crazy. You did that. You and Michael Vick did that.
Appreciate you, my brother.
You're welcome, bro. Word up, man. Just like I changed the course of reality TV, or just like I came in the game and I changed the course of music. You know what I'm saying? You did that with football, my guy.
Yes.
So yeah.
So we're going to get about the music in a second, but you mentioned the reality TV. Brother, I would watch you on Flavor of Love. Is that right?
There you go.
And there was that big woman. What was her?
You talk about Bridget Nielsen?
Oh my gosh! Was that now? Tell the truth now. Was that for real,
Yeah,
or
sure
was that for made for TV?
No, it was for real. It was for real and made for TV. It was both. Yeah, we were really in love, you know what I'm saying, in the whole nine. And, you know, we did 3 seasons of our show, Strange Love. And then when she went back to Italy to go be with her family, the producers said, well, what you going to do for Love next, Flav? I said, I don't know. They said, well, do you watch The Bachelor? You know about the show called The Bachelor? I said, I know about it, but I don't watch it, right? Right, Don?
Yeah.
They said, good, Flav. We're going to take you, and we're going to put you in a house with 25 girls. You're going to narrow it down to 1. So I said, okay, this is going to be kind of interesting. I did my thing. I did my thing. I ain't going to lie, but I changed the course of reality TV.
Right.
And check this out. Flavor of Love 1 was the #1 show that year.
Right.
But Flavor of Love 2 was my biggest year because I brought VH1 its most viewers ever in its history, 7.5 million viewers. VH1 has never, ever seen those numbers again. They tried it with Bret Michaels. They tried it with Ray J. They tried it with New York and all of that. But the only one that could break that record, Donovan, is
you.
Flav.
You're a trendsetter. Hey, I want to thank Flav for coming on. Flav's got his clock in the Hall of Fame. Nobody does it better than Flav, and you put Delicious in New York on. That's another story. But, hey, we want to thank Flavor Flav for joining us here in the 5 spot. Join us. We got a whole lot more coming up. And welcome back to your favorite podcast. This is Donovan McNabb, joined with Armando Salguero.
Yeah, you ruined that. You just destroyed that. Salguero. Salguero. Yeah, that's it.
See, no, you every time I said it before, you're like, no, that's not. See, you embarrassed me when Anthony Munoz was here. It's like he doesn't say it right. You were over here just kissing butt.
Man,
you was kissing butt.
all I know is
you were like, are you the GOAT? You're the greatest of all time.
Anthony,
he says my name wrong.
Anthony Munoz. No, the seriousness of this is I've had so many pro athletes call me a lot worse things than my name that whatever you call me is good, man, because it's still an upgrade from, hey, moron, get over here about this that you wrote. or you know, that kind of stuff.
Oh, so. Come on, I wouldn't do that to you. But let's dive right into the game because that's exactly what everybody is here for. Trying to see who's going to hold up that trophy at the end, get hit with the confetti, have the families out on the field, and maybe bring a celebrity or two out on the field so the cameras can go crazy. So we have the Kansas City Chiefs against the San Francisco 49ers. Great storylines leading all the way up to this particular game. But let's dive into the who, the why, and your score. So let's go Kansas City, San Francisco. Who wins?
I am not picking against Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. I just cannot bring myself to say, yeah, they don't have enough or they're not enough or that. No. And the thing that convinced me was earlier this week, on Monday of Super Bowl week, they are in pads, practicing in pads in Las Vegas. And I'm thinking, they're going to open up a can of whoop ass. They intend to open up a can of whoop ass. Yeah, they understand that the San Francisco 49ers are a physical team.
Right.
And they are going to be a physical team. And yeah, by the way, Brock Purdy's a great story. Kyle Shanahan, a great scheme and all that.
Right.
But whoop ass. Whoop ass.
Okay, so you say Kansas City will win because of Patrick Mahomes. I look and I choose Kansas City as well. And it's not so much being biased with Andy, but it's something to be said of how he's played throughout these playoffs. Now, it's night and day from the regular season to how they've constructed the offense and how he's protected the football. And he's been efficient in the playoffs. And so with this little break, what may it do? It may stall it a little bit, but it could also continue on quickly. And the way that they did that was running a lot of screens, getting the ball out of his hands, making sure they pushed the ball downfield when need be. And they did that with Travis Kelce, and then Rashid Rice caught some great balls, and then Valdez Scanlon caught the one to secure it. But I like the way the offense has been constructed, and I'm with you. He has that number 12 effect. Number 12 being Tom Brady. If he is behind center as the opposing quarterback, I have to be able to be better than him. I have to be able to create those explosive plays, and I have to protect the football. Can Brock Purdy do that? What we've seen in the playoffs with San Francisco in that first half hasn't been stellar in Green Bay and also with the Detroit Lions game. So if he plays like that, and then number 15 is on the other side and doing what we've seen, it could really get ugly.
Brock Purdy is probably the closest thing to cool as a cucumber as you can get,
True.
right? He's a very equanimous type of attitude and and personality. Not St. Brown, just equanimous.
Equanimous.
He's cool as a cucumber.
Cucumber.
Yes, vegetables. No, not liking vegetables. Anyway, but the Patrick Mahomes effect is real.
Yeah.
You, as the opposing quarterback, don't produce, and I'm talking about one drive. You're not producing. You're going back to the sideline going, oh, boy. The other guy's got the ball. Yeah, the other guy's got the ball now, and you start to feel the pressure. And if it goes a drive, 2, 3,
right,
now you're feeling a little bit in the gutledge.
Right.
And it's not a good situation. It's the Patrick Mahomes effect. It is real. And, maybe Brock Purdy is the guy that we never expect, who is going to answer every single time. But if he's not, the sweat beads and the start to come and the push the ball where it shouldn't be and the bad decisions happen. That's not a great situation.
Well, I'll just leave my score. I'm going to say 27-17. What do you think your score is going to be?
27-17. I'm going to agree with you on this.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with you. This is our last show from Radio Row, so we gotta agree on something here.
Hey, listen here. You have been entertained by the best duo on podcast, air, and streaming. So we want to thank all of you for watching, all of you being entertained. We want to thank our guests that have joined us all week. We've had Anthony Munoz. We've had Warren Sapp. We had Marshall Faulk. Flavor Flav. We've had a lot more. So tune in on the 5 spot. You will enjoy yourself as much as we have enjoyed ourselves. So join us back here at the 5 spot for much more.